Think big, start small. If you can't fail, you cannot learn. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are starting a business, you are automatically betting on yourself. It's a fucking gamble. Therefore, to make sure you win, you kind of have to predict the future now. And we have to be right. We cannot miss. We can't afford to lose. In other terms, we have to make assumptions. And the two most important assumptions entrepreneurs make is what is called the value hypothesis and the growth hypothesis. The value hypothesis is basically to know if your service actually delivers value to your clients once they use it. But to assume that your product or service will deliver value to people is like trying to predict the future again. And to predict if your service will deliver value to people is pretty much trying to predict the future, because you're predicting if what you have will deliver value to people. And if it was possible to do that, I'm telling you, everybody would be successful in their first business. But guess what? It's not the case. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite, which is why you need to validate your assumptions. Any assumptions you make, you got to validate them. Elon Musk is Elon Musk because he was able to validate his claim. I like to use the term pull it off. This guy, he pulled it off because he was able to validate the assumption he made and build anything he said he was going to build. He looks like he just fucking predicted the future. There's a way to do this, and it's not by gambling. There's a mindset and a strategy behind this. In order to validate the assumption one, the first assumption I just gave you, which is about the value hypothesis, which is if your service actually delivers value to your clients once they use it. In order to validate that, you have to fuck around and find out. And I love to use that term. You'll notice as you watch my content. You gotta fuck around and find out, man. In other terms, test and experiment. That's how you validate anything. Put it out there as fast as possible. Since you can't predict the future already, and we made that clear, you can't predict how the market will react to what you have. Why do I say that? Just like Myron Golden once said, you don't want to write a book you want to write. You write a book people, aka the marketplace, wants to read. You can write the best book of your life if you want to, but nobody fucking asks and nobody fucking cares besides your mom, and she already know your story, so she ain't even gonna read that book. Write something people wants to read, or become someone people wants to become, and write a book about it. People will want to read it. I guarantee you. The marketplace will tell you if what you have is valuable or not. Therefore, to validate anything, you need to put it out in the marketplace as fast as fucking possible to get the feedback of the marketplace, instead of you trying to guess and assume how the marketplace will react to what you have, because that comes down again to trying to predict the future. Like I just said earlier, you're gambling. You're trying to stay away from that. The growth hypothesis is basically to know how new clients will discover your services. And to know how your clients will discover your service, which is the assumption you're making, to validate that assumption, you need to test it, which is why I put test here. To know how clients will discover your service, you need to test how your clients will discover your service. You need to put it out in the marketplace. And once the program or service is up and running, how will it spread among them? Those are the two main questions you want to ask yourself when doing the growth hypothesis assumption. But guess fucking what, man? You need to validate the assumption, the ones I just went over, by again experimenting and testing, yes. But while you're validating your assumption, the most important thing to measure is behavior, because the behavior of the client is going to be your feedback. Again, you put it out in the market, you test things to get feedback from the market. You don't just fucking put it out in the market and forget it. Again, our focus is that we're not trying to write a book we want to write. We're trying to write a book people wants to read. And therefore, we need the feedback of the people who are reading it to make it fucking better. So how should you go about the experimenting and testing part then? The experimenting part would consist of just finding earlier adopters as fast as possible. These early adopters need to be the people who feel the need of your services the most. Not average clients, not average people, not people who want what you have, but people who need what you have. Your main focus is not to build a big thing. Your main focus is on the beginning is the need first. If I want to go from place A to place B, which is my need, don't give me a fucking supercar. Just give me a skate first and my needs will be met. That's what you want to focus on. Don't start off with a supercar. You're going to waste your time, money, and energy. That's what I was saying again in the last video. Lean thinking, value versus waste. So soon as you solve the need, then you can take the feedback of the market. And when I say the feedback of the market, I'm talking about the feedback of the person you just solved the need to, aka the feedback of the person who wanted to go from place A to B. So as soon as you solve the need, you can take the feedback of the market to validate and iterate your solution. Only once you get the feedback, I want to go from place A to place B. Don't waste your time giving me a supercar. Give me a skate as fast as possible, and I will tell you how I feel about the skate. But you need to change about it. Oh, it's not stable. Oh, it's not fast enough. And only once I give you these feedback can you then iterate and improve your solution without wasting your time, money, and energy into building something that I will inevitably end up wanting and needing. That's how you build anything successful. That's what lean thinking is, and that's what the MVP mindset is all about. By the way, MVP mindset, MVP stands for minimal valuable product. And I'll make the next video is going to be about that, where I'll go even deeper into this analogy. But hey, you still want to watch this video until the end to understand the next one. So once you take the feedback of the market to validate and iterate your solution, Only then will you be able to work your way up into building a supercar. The main thesis of the growth roadmap is to get insights, right? You want to get insights by testing and validating the strategies and assumptions that you have. And then, only then, building a mechanism around those validated insights. That's how you build anything valuable, long-term, sustainable, stable, and proven to succeed. And that will be your product or service. That mechanism that solves a problem is the solution. And that solution is going to be your product or service. The best method to think big and start small is the MVP method. So see you on the next video.